89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
When I become rich and famous, all these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar, flashing lights and cover pages. All these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Did you see me in the magazines? Tell me.
To you, dear listener, in the house, I want to say I welcome you to another week on Business Diet. Today being February 16, 2026. You are on to Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We are along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate in Ibadan. We are your number one family radio station in this city. There is no contesting that. This week on Business Diet, first let me say I'm very sorry for checking in quite behind schedule today. It was due to circumstances beyond my control. I am your friend on the radio, Akinwale Aboluwade, and we are going to sail together for a short period today on Business Diet. Well, let's go straight to the news. First, the headlines. Daily petrol import declines by 42.2% to 24.8 million per liter. Ogun communities groan as border fuel ban bites 6 years after. 18 ships discharge petroleum product cargo at Lagos Port, NPA. Daily petrol imports drop 42% to 24.8 million liters as Dangote supply rises. The volume of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, imported into Nigeria declined by 42.2% in January 2026 to 24.8 million liters per day, down from 42 million liters per day recorded in December 2025. This is according to the latest report released by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority over the weekend. The report also indicated that supply from Dangote Petroleum Refinery to the domestic market rose by 25.3% to 40.1 million liters per day in January, compared to 32 million liters per day in December. Total daily petrol supply stood at 64.9 million liters in January 2026, representing a 12.5% decline from the 74.2 million liters supplied in preceding month. The authority stated that the country recorded 33 days of petrol sufficiency during the period. Days of sufficiency stock boosted by 13% between December 2025 and January 2026 due to imported supply performance by DPRP, the report noted. While the daily national consumption benchmark remained at 50 million liters, actual average consumption based on truck out data stood at 60.2 million liters per day. In addition, daily truck out volumes were put at 19.2 million liters for automotive gas, oil, diesel, 3.5 million liters for aviation fuel, and 4,860 metric tons for liquefied petroleum gas. Ogun communities groan as border fuel ban bites 6 years after. 6 years and 2 months after the administration of the former President Muhammadu Buhari banned the supply of petroleum products to filling stations within 20 kilometers of Nigeria's land borders, residents of affected communities across 15 states say the policy continues to inflict hardship on them. The restriction introduced in November 2019 was aimed at curbing the smuggling of subsidized petroleum products to neighboring countries and cutting off fuel supplies to terrorists and bandits operating around border corridors. In Ogun State, the ban has disrupted economic activities in border councils including Ikpokia, Imekoafon, Yewa North, former Egbado North, and Yewa South, former Egbado South, with residents forced to travel long distances to purchase fuel or patronize black market at inflation prices. On March 18, 2020, the federal government partially lifted the ban, granting waiver to 60 filling stations in border communities to resume operations in a bid to ease the hardship. The approved stations were spread across border areas in Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Kano, Jigawa, Kebbi, Kwara, and Ogun State. Despite the intervention, residents in Ogun border communities say relief has been limited. They recall that until the 2024 fuel crisis, black marketers sold petrol at as high as 2,000 naira per litre, compounding their woes. Chairman of Community Development Association in Iwoye Ketu Imekoafon local government area, Ahmed Ismail, said transportation costs tripled at the height of the crisis, worsening the economic strain on households and small businesses. Findings indicate that no fewer than 161 filling stations fall within the restricted border zones. Reacting, the lawmaker representing Yewa North Imekoafon Federal Constituency in House of Representatives, Boyega Nasser Isiaka, described the waiver as a step towards economic justice, according to a statement by his media aide, Femi Peters. Although residents acknowledge some improvement, with petrol now selling between 800 naira and 900 naira per litre at authorized stations and about 1,200 naira in the black market, communities as Bayi says they remain adversely affected. They have consequently called on the federal government to completely scrap the policy to restore full economic activities in the border areas. 18 ships discharge petroleum product cargo at Lagos Port, NPA. The Nigerian Port Authority has disclosed that 18 vessels are currently discharging petroleum products and other cargoes at major Lagos ports, including Apapa, Lekki, and the Tinkan Island. In a cargo status update issued over the weekend, the authorities said the vessels are offloading a mix of commodities such as bulk fertilizer, general cargo, bulk sugar, premium motor spirit petrol, bulk area condensed gypsum, and containerized goods. The NPA also revealed that 46 additional vessels laden with petroleum products, food items, and imports are expected to arrive at Lagos Port between Saturday and February 22. According to the authority, the incoming ships will deliver consignments including general cargo, bulk urea, wheat, empty containers, crude oil, refined petroleum products, gypsum, trucks, bulk gas, pallets, containerized goods, salt, and petrol. It added that 7 vessels have already arrived at the port and are currently awaiting berthing approval. The ships are carrying bulk urea, crude oil, diesel, aviation fuel, general merchandise, and petrol. That before I end the business and economic news, here are the headlines once again. Daily petrol import declined by 42.2% to 24.8 liters. Ogun communities grown as border fuel ban bites 6 years after. 18 ships discharge petroleum products cargo at Lagos Port, NPA. That ends the business and economic news. Now, dear listener out there, if you want to join in the conversation on business diet, the numbers to call are 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 33 893. Now, we'd like you to join us. It might be these out of the news that we just read, or maybe you have some issues that are economic related that are bothering your mind. You can call the studio lines and we shall do justice on the discourse. Now let the conversation begin. Daily petrol imports declined by 42.2% to 24.8 million liters. Well, for me, how do you feel about this news? Having the importation of petroleum dropping from, to 42% to 24.8 million liters. For me, to hear that petroleum PMS that are imported into Nigeria has declined by 42.2% in January 2026 to 24.8 million liters per day. For me, is good news. That is a very sharp decline, and I feel that that is for from 42.8 million liters to 42.2 million to 24.8 million liters. That is a very wide gap from 42.8 million liters to 24.8 million liters. That is impressive. And well, if you notice that the Forex Naira is stabilizing well at a very weak rate too, is far lower than the dollar, but then Naira is stabilizing, or let me say is strengthening marginally against the dollar. Well, for us as a country, this is good news. I learned that people that are in the diaspora, they are hesitant to send money into the country now or to exchange their dollar to Naira because Naira is strengthening. Let me tell you, optimistically, this is not authoritative, but I'm talking personally. I'm being optimistic that the Naira will keep strengthening. By the time that continues to happen, we are going to be feeling it locally. Our integrity as a country will be improving. I want to say that, at least personally, on a personal note, I want to acknowledge the effort of Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Dangote has been doing a lot in ensuring that we don't lack the supplies of the all-important product locally, and that is kudos to Dangote. Yes, you may say that Dangote is making his money. Nobody is arguing that, but then the fact remains that as a collective, as a country, we are having the gains of Dangote refineries operations. Now let's go to the next story, which is also related to petrol. Ogun communities grown as border fuel ban bites 6 years after. During the former president Muhammadu Buhari administration, a ban was placed on the selling of petrol in some border communities, 20 kilometers to the border. Those communities, and some communities were affected then. Of course, the ban was softened when some filling stations were allowed to begin to sell fuel. But then those communities in the border areas, especially in Ogun State, the communities in Yewa North, communities in Yewa South, communities in Imeko Afon, are now groaning that 6 years after that ban was placed, they are still suffering, buying fuel at a very high price, though the condition is easing at the moment. Now, 18 ships discharge petroleum product cargo at Lagos Port, NPA. For me, when I saw this story, I wasn't too glad. It means that we are yet to improve from being a consumer country. Nigeria, as a country, we have a large percentage of youth. The largest percentage of the population comprises of youth. So, and then we should take advantage of this, plus all the resources that we have that are natural to us, and ensure that we are more productive, so that instead of having import all the time and affecting our fate and future and our forex, we can also export and make impact in the global economy. Well, it is on this note that I will be saying goodbye on Business Diet this week. I won't want to go until I've express my appreciation to the management of West Radio 89.3 FM, and of course my producer Toluwaleke Ali, and the engineer in the house who has been playing a great role in ensuring that you are hearing me out there. Until next week, when we meet on another edition of Business Diet, I want to say a big welcome to a new week. Be optimistic and courageous. The best is going to happen. Cheers until next week. I remain your dear friend on the radio, Akinwale Aboluwade.
I go buy you Range Rover. La 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 la. I'll be a superstar.